And as I said at the top, they are on a bit of a break now, but they return on August 25th in beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska. And I do believe the first fight of the night involves friend of the program, Mickey Gall, his long-awaited return. We have not heard from him in quite some time. He faces George Sullivan in Lincoln. Interesting. Let's talk to Mickey. Mickey, how are you?
What up, Ariel? I'm doing good.
It's been a while, my friend. Everything good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not the first fight of the night. I'm on the. I'll be on the main card, the Fox Sports 1 portion.
Okay, so the website is wrong.
Yeah.
You noticed that too?
Yeah.
What happened? Did you?
No, I just checked up on it. I'm on the. But yeah, I heard I'm on the main card. So.
I was shocked. I was like, what's going on here? Is Mickey in the doghouse? What's happening?
No, I'm all good, baby.
Okay. Were you worried there for a second?
Yeah, I saw a couple people like message me about it. We're like, hey, this is your first fight. That's BS, blah blah blah. And I was like, what? And then, yeah, I asked, and they're like, nah, you're on the main card.
You have been relatively quiet. You've come out a little bit here and there, but since your fight in November, relatively quiet. Why the time off?
Well, I didn't really want time off. I was trying to fight. I tried to fight. I was trying to fight like short notice in Boston. I was trying to fight. I was trying to get that taste out of my mouth. And then I was trying to fight. Like all through there. And then International Fight Week I was going for, and for some reason it was just taking a little while this time. And then trying to fight on the LA card, and then finally they offered me Sullivan in Lincoln. I was like, yeah, it's overdue. It's about time. So I'm eager, man. I'm ready to go. Ready to run. I plan to do a bunch of fights this year.
What has it been like to sit on that loss for this long, and as you just said, longer than you would have wanted, to have it, stewing at the top of your record? What has that been like for you mentally?
It stinks, but it just gave me like more motivation, more drive. I think that's how it has to be. You can let that eat you up, or you let it build you up. So, I didn't like it. Yeah, I was eager, and I think that was probably their thoughts. Like, oh, he's just being a over-eager kid because he's mad about his last fight, whatever. But I'm good. I've been training. I've been out on the West Coast. I've been training with like Joe Schilling, Eve Edwards, a bunch of tough guys out here.
Why'd you move there?
Well, I'm staying with Eve out here, but I'm still in Jersey. But just to up my training, I needed to surround myself with. I think that's one thing that I learned, from the loss, that where it is true that you win and you learn. And I don't know if I'd be here if I didn't take a L. And I needed to surround myself with higher level guys. I was becoming like the top guy in when I started at AMA Fight Club, I was like one of the bottom. I was like, when I just started, so I was one of the bottom guys. And then, I started growing, and I became one of the top guy in my gym. And I don't think that was good. I needed to surround myself with people that are better than me or some shit. And that's what I did.
So what happens after the fight in November? Eve Edwards reach out to you. You reach out to him. How did this come about?
I actually, through my old management, myself and Joe Schilling had the same management, and I was looking around, maybe after Christmas. I was like, I think I could use a change. I think I could use, I was having some, I just needed I wanted to surround myself with some tougher guys, and I got a bunch of my team at home is strong, but we're just young. There's a lot of young guys. I'm like the leader there, so I need to come out here and so I linked up with Joe. They have a thing going. Joe's looking to get it back into MMA, and we linked up. We were doing a lot of training together. And then me and Eve linked up, and he had a house that he had that now he had like an extra room in his house. So I rented that out, and that's where I'm sitting right now.
Wow, so you're Eve Edwards' house guest.
Well, I'd say we're splitting it now.
Oh, okay, I like that. We're splitting
it, so we're roommates.
Wow, just you. Does he have his family there as well, or is it just you two?
Well, he got divorced, so his wife moved out, so I moved in.
Damn.
But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, he's the man. It's not. I'm sure he's all right.
Okay.
But he's the man. It's great. He's a wealth of knowledge, and I sit on the couch next to him, we're watching fights, and I'm just learning a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine what a treat it must be for someone like you, young guy, watching fights with someone like him. The mind that he has. Will he be cornering you on August 25th?
No, he won't. My corner will be David Adib, Sean Diggs, and Joe Schilling.
Okay, interesting. So at some point you are going to go back to New Jersey and train with your team. You haven't left that team full time.
No, that's my team for life. That's like Gracie, New Jersey. That's where I started as a 16-year-old. My whole family's there. I'll be back in Jersey after this. After the Nebraska fight. I got some of my boys there. I have a fight coming up in September. I'll be back there helping them get ready, and then I'll be getting back out here. I want to fight. I want to fight back on that Madison Square Garden card. So I'm eyeing that up. So I want to get back out here, get back to work.
Okay, so speaking of MSG, that was actually my next question. November 4th of last year, you suffered your first pro loss, and you were on the fast track. I mean, the UFC loves you. They put you in that Punk fight, of course. They give you the Sage Northcutt fight. They put you at MSG. You get back to the locker room after that loss to Randy Brown. You lose via decision, and there was a bit of a back and forth between you two. You were riding high. Confidence was high. What was that like for you to you get back in there and it doesn't go your way? You're essentially in your home state, right? You're right next door. How did you handle all of that?
I handled it fine. It sucks. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I planned. But it's whatever. It's part of the game. I didn't expect to win every single fight. I know how this game is. You got it's 15 minutes against another trained killer, and things are gonna happen. And I didn't have my best day in there. I think 9 out of 10 I win that fight, and that it just wasn't my night. It was he was the better guy in there that night. He had the better 15 minutes, so it is what it is. And I'm just getting myself better.
Have you any kind of theory as to why it wasn't your best night? You're still very confident. Clearly, 9 out of 10, you say you beat him. Why that particular night do you feel like you didn't get it done? Things happen, man. It's funny. It's just like how you gotta have your best 15 minutes right when that time comes, and anything could happen. Anything could happen. You could have eaten something weird. You could have, anything could happen. You're just like, I don't feel my best right now. But it doesn't matter. You can't be like, hey, can you give me like an hour and a half, and I could, and then I'll go out or something. So it's all good. Okay. Did you notice that in the locker room before the fight that you felt off?
Yeah, I just didn't feel great. Who knows? And who knows what to attribute it to? I think I don't know. I didn't feel like the best me, and and then I also don't think I didn't fight like the best me. I didn't. But I think that's also something that comes with experience. That was the longest fight I had. I'd never gone the distance before, and I had kind of a tunnel vision and kind of maybe a little conceit in my jiu-jitsu, like, oh, we're on the ground, I'm gonna get him, and I kept trying the same couple moves, and instead of being like, all right, this didn't work 2 times, do something different, I was like, I'm not that, I'm gonna get him, and then I didn't get him, so it then you get a loss, and it's all what it is, and I plan on fighting like 3-4 more times this year and getting a whole bunch of wins.
Was there any part of you in hindsight that maybe was feeling himself too much after all the wins? Do you feel like you had to be humbled?
No, I don't think I was humbled. Yeah, no, I don't. No, I wasn't feeling myself too much. I'm aware. I'm a human. I'm aware of all the. I'm aware of all that.
How did I remember seeing that night? People were saying like, "Oh, like he finally got you got some humble pie." Like the fans could just jump on you, right? They could turn on you in a second. Did you get a lot of that because you were kind of you're a brash guy, but I think that's what people like about you, that you call your shots, that you ask for Punk in all these fights, Northcutt. Did you get a lot of people hating on you? Was that tough to go back online and see all of that?
I didn't look too much.
Okay.
I didn't because it's all it doesn't it's all that. It's like fake. It doesn't really matter. It's just people just it's the nice and it's like I don't put too much stock in the nice or the fake. Or the mean. It doesn't really affect me. I know it is what it is. It's just someone's sitting at their computer, and whether they say something nice, like great. I can't live or die by either of those things. So I don't,
That's
I don't
great
worry
advice. Can't get too high, can't get too low, right? You got to just stay in the middle the whole time.
Yeah.
I wish that I could do that, to be honest with you. How do I do that? Can you teach me? Is that just something that's ingrained?
I don't know, man. I just, you gotta just know yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing, Ariel. Don't worry about them.
All right, yeah, I know. Sometimes it just gets you. You read it, it's on your phone. You know what's weird about the criticism? It's on the same phone that I text my mom with. And then you see it, and it's like, this thing is so personal. And now it's coming to you, and you're reading it, and you're like, you're in bed with your kids, and you're like, did you really have to say that to me right now? Like, did you really have to ruin my night? That's what I think messes you up. In the past, you'd have to go on SureDog or go on the UG, and then you read it. And then you're like, well, it's on you. You did it. You did it to yourself. But here, it's like right there in your face. That's my problem.
Do you ever hear that saying where they say what people think about you isn't your business?
No. But
Ever heard that?
No.
Yeah, what people think about you, it's not your business. So it's weird that we have these things where people could just drop a comment and say whatever they want about you, and then you can choose to let that affect you or not. I don't know.
Interesting. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to remember that.
Who cares what the fuck they think? You know who you are. Your family knows who you are.
All right.
People know who you are.
I like this, Mickey. This is good. George Sullivan, Jersey guy. You're a Jersey guy. Did you ever run in the same circles?
No, actually with George Sullivan, he was like, so when I first was like training and like started like fighting, he was like the best guy in the area. He trained down at Pellegrino's. He's a South Jersey guy.
Yeah.
And he was like a guy like he was PFFC champ. He just got signed to UFC, and it was cool because I kind of like looked up to him then. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna be like that. I'm gonna be the champ, and I'm gonna get to UFC. And now I get to kick his ass on TV. So
wow,
it's cool. It's little like not. I wouldn't say he was my idol or anything, but it's one of those cool things where a guy you like. When I looked at him at one time, and now I'm fighting him for the UFC.
Yeah, and he's 11 years older than you. Big age difference. So he's been around the block, obviously. 2 losses in a row. Is this one of those things where you want to like kill off your hero? You want to get him out of the UFC? Would you thrive on that idea?
No, I don't want to get. I don't want to get him out of UFC. I just want to fight, man. I've been trying to fight all summer, and it's like the end of summer now. I just want to fight. It's it's not like that's the upside is that is this cool Jersey guy that I thought was cool back in the day. So that's but I don't have any and the only ill will I have towards him will be displayed in the cage.
Right. Can you confidently say that you will be a different fighter on August 25th? Has enough time passed that you think that you are a different fighter, that you've learned enough in this this time away from Jersey, training with Schilling and Edwards and those guys, where you think that you will display new skills?
I'll definitely display new skills, but I'd also say I'm the same fighter. I'm going to be the same aggressive kid who is going to clunk people on their feet and will strangle them out on the ground. I'm just a better version of me. I've trimmed a lot of fat off my techniques. I have more confidence in I understand striking better than I ever have before, and I'm just a more The thing is, I came in the UFC at 1-0, so all my and I'm happy to share all my growing pains in front of the world, and there's probably going to be more, but I'm gonna lay it all on the line, and I'm gonna go to war.
I couldn't help but think about you a lot, and I know other people did as well. A couple months ago when Punk fought Mike Jackson, what did you make of that fight?
Oof.
Okay, you saw it, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Nah, it was just ugly, and Jackson's toying with him, and it was just ugly. Thing went 15 minutes too long. Oof, that's it.
But you thought Punk would win.
Yeah, I wasn't like, oh, for sure Punk's gonna win. Like I was like, that'd be cool if he won.
Okay.
You asked me for a pick, and I did pick Punk, yes. But
good story, or it would have been one.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been real fun.
What did you like? You got to see him for 15 minutes there, and that was almost 2 years after your fight against him at UFC 203 in Cleveland. What did you make of his skills?
You know, he's not that type of athlete. He's not the type of athlete that you would see in the UFC. I don't think he would get to the UFC if he wasn't CM Punk, because just on basic, you know, athletic lackings, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I thought he was, you know, he showed a little grit. He got punched in the face and kept coming, and he went the full 15. I don't think many people expected him to go the full 15. I know Jackson maybe carried him a little bit, but, you know, I'd say kudos to him for that.
Jackson was criticized heavily after the fight, in particular by Dana White. Did you think that was fair?
I did. He should have had the urgency to take this guy out.
Do you think he should get another chance?
I like Mike Jackson, but probably not.
Because of his skill set?
Both.
What's the other part?
It was. I thought it was a little disrespectful the way that he fought. Like he had the moment to be in there. When it was my chance to fight the CM Punk, I was like, all right, this dude probably shouldn't be here. I'm gonna demolish him. I'm gonna let him do nothing quick. I'm gonna give him a quick, violent beating and take him out early. He's not going a full round. And Jackson carried him for 15 minutes and made everyone watch that shit for 15 minutes. I think he should have more urgency to take him out.
So when you're watching that, you thought that he could have finished it in the first round?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's not his style. Maybe he's a more relaxed guy. But I would have liked to see a whole lot more aggression and just going for it. Yeah, wouldn't you agree?
I thought the criticism was a little unfair, in particular in the second round when he was in Punk's guard and he was kind of playing around there, and it looked like he was like looking somewhere else. I thought,
like doing look away.
Yeah, but he was landing those punches. Like if you saw Punk's face afterwards, it was beat up. Like it wasn't like he was just clowning around and not landing. Not to compare him to Roy Jones. I know this is going to sound weird, but Jones used to clown around too, but he would land. Like as long as you land and clown, I'm okay with it. If you're clowning and not landing, then I have a problem with it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I actually.
I'm not mad at him over it. But I was a little disappointed. I don't think Dana's criticism is totally unfounded.
Okay, fair enough. We don't even know if he's going to get another chance anyway, and it's not up to us. But I was just curious to hear what you thought about it all. So the plan is we return on August 25th. We beat George Sullivan, guy we once looked up to, and then we return because you said 3-4 times. How's that all fit in? Like realistically, it's very hard in the UFC to get that many fights. How are you going to do this?
I don't know, man. I just I just plan on, I've already told Sean Shelby, like I'm ready to go now. I've been okay with taking my time up till now, but now I'm ready to go. Like I'm ready to run. I'm ready to rock. I want to fight. So I'm gonna fight in 2 weeks. Then I'm gonna fight Madison Square Garden. Then I'd like to fight after Christmas, and then I'd like to fight before summer.
Damn.
I'd like to do. Yeah, I'm ready to go, man. God willing, I say healthy. I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to fight. Fight.
And you think they're down with this?
I hope so.
Okay.
We'll find out.
And what's this this thing that you're doing with the MusclePharm gym? Is it, are they sponsoring you now, or are you just training at their gym? What's that relationship?
Yeah. So I've been training at the MusclePharm gym out here in Burbank, right outside LA. It's great, man. It's like a world class facility. Got world class coaches, like dudes like Jason Manley, Matt Brown. Schilling comes down with me. It's awesome. There's always Buchecha was there last week. There's always studs up in there, and it's great, man. It's awesome. MusclePharm, they're putting a good little combat team together.
I gotta say, with all due respect to New Jersey, I was in LA for UFC 227. Why in the world would you leave there to go back to Jersey? It's such a better life there.
Jersey's home, man. Jersey's home. That's home.
I know.
That's home. Jersey for life.
Palm trees, the weather, like you got these great training. Come on.
It's all great. And I'll definitely be spending some time out here in LA. But yeah, I'm a Jersey boy.
All right. Initially I was like, man, Mickey Gall, he went Hollywood on us. So I'm happy to hear this. I'm happy to hear this, but I have to say, if I were you, I would just stay there. You don't have kids. You don't have any reason to come back. What are you coming back to New Jersey for? Just visit every summer.
Yeah. No, you can't be the summers in Jersey. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's good to have you back, Mickey. It really is. I'm happy to hear that you're fired up. You're confident as ever. I'm excited about this fight, and most importantly, I was actually kind of offended that you were the first fight of the night. Mickey Gall, curtain jerker? That doesn't seem right. I mean, let's be honest here. So I'm happy that you. I suspect you called up Dana and you said, hey, what's going on here, buddy? Is that kind of what happened? I'd like to think that that's what happened.
That would be cool, right?
Yeah, but it didn't happen.
Nah.
Okay. Anyway, it's good to see that you're on the televised portion of the card. Welcome back. Good luck to you in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to it. And thanks for coming on the show. And hopefully when you're back in Jersey, you can come on the show in studio and we'll talk about the win.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Mickey. All the best. There he is, Mickey Gall, returning on August 25th in Lincoln, Nebraska, coming off that loss to Randy Brown, first professional loss. Had won his first 4 pro fights in a row. And, of course, the 3 fights in the UFC, Mike Jackson, CM Punk, and Sage Northcutt. Loses to Brown, back in action less than 2 weeks against George Sullivan. And it's no longer the curtain jerker. So how about that? Interesting stuff. Having Joe Schilling in his corner as well is interesting, too. Okay, so UFC was in Calgary just a few weeks ago. Big fight on the main card. Alex Hernandez, Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Hernandez, of course, coming off that big win over Beneil Dariush. Picked up the victory. Now 2-0 in the UFC. Love this guy. Love talking to him. Again, speaking of Mickey Gall and being confident, he's as confident as it gets. Let's talk to him right now about the win and where he goes from here. He joins us right now via the magic of Skype. There he is. Alexander the Great. Alex, how are you?
Dude, I'm great, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and congratulations on the win over the Canadian Gangster. I got the impression that night you weren't all that pleased with the win. A couple weeks later, are you feeling better about it?
Yeah, I'm my biggest critic, and I have to be. If you're trying to be the best, you always got to strive for greatness, and we all should. And so I got out of that fight, and I was just being real critical of myself. I walked into that match knowing I won. He knew I won. We both knew walking into that cage that I was going to win. And so the standard or the bar that I'd set for myself was to just absolute obliterate and kill him. But it's hard to kill a man whose sole objective is to survive. And so I went back to the tape, I reviewed it, and there were positives to take from it. A lot of people said that he was either going to break me over 3 rounds, submit me, or just dominate me in his grappling and his forte. And so there's something to be said about beating a specialist at a specialty and manhandling someone for 15 minutes. And so I'm pleased with that. And truthfully, everyone should be terrified that I got 14 more minutes in that cage than I did my last fight, and that's just data collected. So, yeah, I'm taking a more optimistic approach. There's certainly positives to take from it, but I've always got to be critical.
Okay, are you hearing an echo when you speak? I'm not, but I feel like you are.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. I wasn't sure if it was coming through clear or not.
This is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen a human being do. I could tell it was bothering you, but mentally I could also tell that you were going to power through this, and you were not going to let
a bottomless pit.
Wow, that was impressive because it wasn't coming out on my end, but I could hear the echo, and I could sort of see in your face that it was bothering you, and you were like, you know what? I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to power through. Well done. Now, how do we fix this? I think if you maybe turn the volume down a little bit on your computer, that might help. So you want to try that?
Okay. It is getting a little better. It's an excellent call.
What about now? Is it feeling a bit better once you say something to us? How's the weather out there?
Warm and hospitable. It is better. Yeah, it's better.
Is it annoying? Do you still hear it?
It's not nearly as irritating. I can weather it.
Are you sure? I want this to be perfect.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. It's good.
Okay. All right.
I'll let you know.
All right.
I'll hit the high notes again if I need to.
Okay, yeah. Anytime it's bothering you, we'll work through it. So usually when the volume is too loud on your computer, that's when you hear the feedback. So if you want to put that down a little bit, whatever the case, or maybe even when you're speaking, you can put it down. Okay, so one thing that you said that was very interesting in that opening answer, which was phenomenal and why I love talking to you, you said that he knew that the fight was lost before the fight even started. Why do you think that is?
he was terrified going into that fight. I could hear it in his interviews. And I like to study people, not just physically, but mentally, and how they respond, how they react, how they analyze themselves in the world around them. And so just watching him, I saw the doubt, I saw the fear, and then at that weigh-in, I broke him, and I saw that he was already defeated, and that he knew entering that cage that I was going to be victor as much as I knew it. And so walking into a fight that you know you're going to win, winning's not enough. And people kept saying that, hey, a W's a W. That noise, maybe to someone who's not used to winning, but for someone who's striving to be a champion, winning's not enough. It never is. And so, like you said, there was a lot to be shown for that fight, and I felt like I dominated. I felt like I clearly won every round. I just, in my own mind, in my own view of myself, I underperformed to a degree, and so I let things happen that shouldn't have, exchanges occur that shouldn't have exchanged. And so, there's notes, but no, it was a positive respect. I got 15 minutes in the Octagon, and so there's a lot of growth from it, a lot of data collected.
I don't mean to harp on this, but I'm fascinated by the mentality. What do you see or what do you hear to let you know that he's terrified to fight you?
All of his interviews prior were filled with doubt. He was uncertain. He couldn't find people to mimic me, and truthfully, you never will. It's a labyrinth to try to figure out my patterns and find someone to match my cadence and the way I maneuver. And so I felt that doubt. And then at the weigh-ins, I got into his head and I saw him break. I saw his face break. I knew that he was defeated. It was just something in his eyes that shifted. And so I knew it was already round one of the books going into that.
Wow.
Going into that fight.
Man, that is intense.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that, but you did. You see something in his eyes.
Yeah, I mean, when you're staring into a man's soul head on, it's different than being on the outside through the camera lens. So, yeah, I definitely peeked through those windows and stripped him of it before the fight even began.
Is that a common experience for you? Like, is this something that you often see in your 11 pro fights? Do you often see this as you're squaring off with your opponent?
It depends. Everyone can be different, and some people don't show it as much. This was probably the most aggressive I've ever been at weigh-ins, and it was just something I felt. I try not to put on and act on anything. I've got to feel it in order to portray it and get the response that I need. So it was something I felt in that moment, and I saw it, and so we just ran with it.
He's kind of a bit of a character now with the gangster thing and the mustache and all that. Did you feel like he was, I don't know, playing around too much before the fight?
That's his personality. It's something that he's used to doing, and that brings him comfort. And I knew that, kind of like how Cerrone seeks comfort in his opponent, likes to be friends with them or play jokes with them or just be as cordial as possible because it makes the fight less threatening and more of a fun, competitive match. And I didn't want to give him any of that lenience, any comfortability walking into it. So I knew he had that kind of personality where he needed to be buddies or like play jokes or kind of have his character. And I just wanted him to be so uncomfortable and shivering in those little slippers that he couldn't put on that persona.
How did my fellow Canadians treat you? Did you enjoy the experience up there?
So the Canadians were super cool beforehand and really nice.
Yes.
And then walking out there a little bit more hostile than I thought. I was like, damn, these Canadians are ready for war, which I have nothing but respect for. People got to cheer on their countrymen. But yeah, they were aggressive. And at the end of the day, what I was trying to say too, forget a flag. I was out there fighting for everyone in attendance as much as I was anyone back home or anyone anywhere else in the world. I'm fighting for anyone who can appreciate their art and gives a damn to watch me. So I'm blessed for it and grateful for it. And so that's what I was trying to say at the end. But yeah, no, there were boos, and that doesn't affect me. I did feel like I came out a little flat, and I think that was some of my work in the back. Maybe we didn't gauge the time well enough.
Oh.
And so then going out, we caught some boos. Half the crowd was super awesome and welcoming. The other half was just like blatantly, you're not Canadian.
Wow.
Which is cool. That's fine. And then the walkout song was wrong. And so it was like all these little things where I was like, it's not going to put me down. I'm not going to lose a fight over this shit. But it just wasn't anything to help amplify the mood. And
Wow.
it was fine. I knew all that was going to happen going into it. I just I wasn't fazed by it, but I was a little surprised with how aggressive they were. And honestly, I kind of liked it. It was a good side of Canada. I like to see that they have a little fight between their loins.
Yeah. That's very un-Canadian-like, but I guess they were fired up on that Saturday. Now, what about the song? They messed it up? What happened?
Yeah, so they ended up playing Biggie. It was Juicy by Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
And it kind of worked because I had that little, I had that theme going with Now They Know. And so I guess it kind of played out okay. But it wasn't the song that I was playing it for. And they dropped it, and I looked around. I'm like, is this supposed to be me? And I was, I guess I'll do it. I'll just go. But yeah, it was the wrong jam. So just kind of just a prelude walking into it. Wasn't quite as hot as I like. But it's not gonna. I'll be damned if I lose a fight over the simple trees like that.
What was your song supposed to be?
It was the song called "Ready for the Fight," and it was the same jam I went out to in Vegas. It's like a little modern rocky tune, gets me hyped, and I normally don't listen to it except for right before the fight, so it stays fresh in my mind.
Wow.
But again,
did you ask afterwards what happened? How did they make that? I mean, those two songs are nothing alike.
No, I know. I have no idea how that came about. I don't know if Canadian government was sabotaging me down on the Calgary scene. I have no idea, but no, I didn't bother fretting with it afterwards. It wasn't a big enough deal.
I thought your placement on the card was telling. Clearly, the UFC is behind you. Second fight, you're on the main card of a broadcast TV event. That's a big deal, right? They're obviously behind you.
See, I thought that was awesome, and I love that. But it was funny in that media day. Everybody's like, "So, how do you feel? Second fight in the UFC? Isn't that crazy that you're on the main card?" And I was like, "Dude, it's crazy. I'm not on that poster right there. That's what's crazy." I mean, it's crazy I'm not getting any of these interview hype or any of the behind-the-scenes footage being aired on the commercials. But, baby steps, and I'm grateful that they put me on where they did. I don't know if it was because Mercier can be so damn boring at times. I don't know if maybe it was just like we need a little bit more dual action to put you guys on the show. But I definitely want to be on that poster next time. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the position I was. But, yeah, I want to be on that. If I'm put me on the main card, put me on the poster too. Okay. I want the backing. I want the platform.
I don't blame you. You should want it. So now where are you now? You're now like 11th in the rankings or something like that?
I'm not sure. I was 13, I think. I'm still 13. I truthfully hadn't looked at
Yeah, you're 13 behind Chiesa, Nate Diaz, Iaquinta, Vic, Pettis. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's a right spot for you?
I didn't beat anybody ahead of me, and those guys hadn't lost. So I don't see why I wouldn't move. The way I kind of had it in my mind was it's a tier system, 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and then 11 through 15. And so beat two guys in that 11 through 15 bracket, move up to the 6 to 10 bracket, and then move up to the 1 through 5 after maybe another two finishes in that 6 to 10. And so that's kind of what I'm targeting for now. I think that 6 to 10 bracket, the whole new numbered division, particularly that bracket, is a prehistoric lot. I feel like they're stagnant where I'm constantly evolving. And that's what I'm saying, so threatening that, I got to spend that much time in the cage and continue the evolution, continue to get data. And the biggest thing I pride myself on above anybody else in this fight game at all is that my ability to evolve. I'm ultra aware, and I'm constantly nitpicking my mistakes and exposing them before anyone ever gets a chance to.
So you feel like you're the new blood. Those guys have been around for too long. They're ripe for the taking.
Exactly. It's played out. They're played out. We know exactly where they're at. We know what they can accomplish. We know what they're going to be. I am an unpredictable force that, again, is constantly developing.
Are we talking about anyone in particular here, just to be crystal clear?
I mean, we can go through the roster one by one and call them. It makes no difference, but I want someone in that upper tier. I'm waiting to see. There's about 4, I think maybe 3 or 4 guys that have matchups coming up.
Okay.
And so I'd love to block the winner of them. There's Vic and Gaethje. Pettis just came off a win. Iaquinta, I don't know if he's fighting or real estate. I don't know what he's doing anymore, but if he chose to step up, that would be excellent. Any one of these boys can get it. I'm not picking favorites, and I'm not nitpicking. There's a line of, I know, athletic killers behind me, and I think to some extent the young scrappers coming up are more deadly than the ones being ranked. And everybody's trying to pick my spot, and they can get a line. That's great. But they need to get on my radar. And right now, these boys in front of me are on my radar. That's who I want to take out. And so whatever Shelby is willing to give me, I'm still waiting on an idea of what they're looking at. And I think his idea is, let's see how these next few weeks play out with the matchups.
Are they thinking about you versus Islam Makhachev at all? Have you heard that?
Yeah, somebody tagged me in that. It's again, I didn't even know who it was whenever I got tagged in it. I remember he was on the card before. He's not on the radar. If he wants to step in and if he could bring something to the table, but I don't care. I don't need a matchup. I don't need a body type, but I do want the progression. And I don't necessarily even need, I do need a number. I need a number. And so I'm trying to move forward. It's a crescendo to the top. He's not in a trajectory. He's not even on the radar. And so he has no interest or no value. Everybody behind me is going to be shooting at me as a new guy who's holding a number that they want. I'm not going to answer every prawn who cries out. It's not. It doesn't behoove me in any way.
Are you bracing for the idea? I feel like this is coming. You're going to go in one of these roles, and it's happened in other divisions. And then the guys who, as you put them, the dinosaurs, prehistoric, you're not going to get any takers there. They're going to say, who's this young guy? Why should I fight him? Who's Alex Hernandez? This happens in other divisions. Curtis Blades is dealing with it right now. How do you prepare for that? Are you preparing for that?
Yeah, and so it's the same thing, just like how I'm saying they're not on my radar. I'm not on those guys' radar, so I've got to do more to get there. And that's also why I need the platform from the UFC. I mean, you look at a cat like Darren Till, who's doing great, but he got the opportunity, and luckily he got against someone who's his game is Cerrone. But you get those opportunities to make the most of them. And then once the UFC backs you, there is no saying no because you're that golden egg. And I feel like the organization's got plenty of talent. Of course they do. I respect everybody in it. It's stacked with talent, but we're lacking in stars. There's talent, there's not stars. And I can be and will be the next star. And so I get that back and I get that support. You can't say no. It's here's the fight. Let's take it. Let's make it happen. And so I think if with the right platform, the right build, that won't be an issue.
Why? Like if you're in a meeting with Dana White or Sean Shelby, and when you speak, I believe you. Like I don't feel like this is an act at all. You are very confident. You're very believable, and you back it up. Your record speaks for itself. But they say to you, why do you think that you'll be a star? We've got 500 10-1 fighters. Why are you going to be a star?
Because I'm everything different. People want a character and a break from the monotony, and they want something real, and that's what I'm delivering. I'm real. I have a unique story. I took a chance myself. I want to be a depiction and a representation for self-belief, for confidence, to let people know they can. I want to represent that. And I think I'm a character of my own. And again, I speak what I mean, and I represent that, and I act on that. And people are sick of having a dull monkey on the mic saying the same shit, or somebody acting out of character to try to build up a fake persona. That's not what I'm doing, and my actions support that.
Your delivery is phenomenal, by the way. Please don't ever change that. And by the way, for those that don't know, your story, amazing. You took the fight against Dariush on a week's notice. What, a couple of years ago, you're selling, like, what are you selling, mortgage or something? What is that thing?
Yeah, so I was a loan officer doing mortgages, and I was fighting the whole time, juggling since I was 18. But, yeah, I was sucking the corporate dick for some time, playing the mortgage role. And so I decided to jump off the edge, so to speak, devote everything into fighting. I had a quarter-life crisis. I was like, I got to break it. And so I stepped off, put everything I have into fighting, and then within like 3 or 4 months, I got a 10-day notice for the UFC.
What a year it has been for you thus far. Like 7 months ago, you're out of the UFC. Now you're 2-0 in the UFC. You just fought on the main card. You're ranked right now. This has been incredible. What a year. Best year of your life so far?
Definitely the best year of my life. And that's what this year was. You know, it's funny. A year ago, it was probably about August or September. I was at this it was a mortgage realtor function because loan officers generally do business with realtors, right? That's the nature of the business. And so we were at this joint learning seminar, and at the end of it all, it was like an 8-week course. And at the end of it, you wrote yourself a letter in the mail, and it was whatever you wanted to be. For most people, it was like, I want to reach this number of productions, I want to become this, I want to own this, whatever it is inside of your realm of business. And you wrote that on a piece of paper, you put it in an envelope, and then supposedly we're supposed to still get it. And a year from now, they mail you the letter so you can open it up and be like, here's what I said I was going to do. Did I do it? And everybody was writing down something about the housing market or a mortgage figure or just something about sales or production. And all I wrote down was, it's 2018. You made it to the UFC. Congratulations, kid. You did it. Only upward from here. And I sealed it up in the letter. I didn't say anything about mortgages or anything of that, because that's really, I already made up in my mind that in 2018, my sole objective, I'm not doing anything but becoming a UFC fighter. And fortunately, that happened sooner than I anticipated. And yeah, it's been the best year of my life since, but it's only the beginning, Ariel. And that's, if anything, I'm mad at myself that I didn't put more on that piece of paper than just getting into the UFC. Now we got ranked the UFC, and now I want to be in the top 10 before the end of the year.
Wow, holy smokes, what a story. I just got goosebumps all over my body. That was incredible. When are you getting that letter? Are you getting it you're probably going to get it anytime soon, right? Right now, like in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, probably in the next few weeks I'll probably get it. And like I said, I'm just going to open that piece of paper and think you should have got more, kid. That was great, though.
Man.
That does inspire me. And even if you don't believe in the moment, you have to go through the motions. You have to develop that belief. You just have to know. And so, yeah, it's been a beautiful process. It's been a great year.
Wow, that's unbelievable. What a story. What a year for you. Congrats on the win over Olivier Aubin-Mercier. And I see it. You see the confidence just oozing out of you right now.
I appreciate that.
And I feel like the stardom is just about to hit you, and you're about to reach that next level anytime soon. So good luck to you, Alex. Appreciate you coming on, and keep us posted on what's next for you. Great to talk to you again.
Absolutely. Thank you for the time, brother. Have a good one.
There he is, Alex Hernandez, stopping by. Wow, holy smokes. Unbelievable. How could you not? I feel like I could run through this wall right here in front of me. What a kid. Wow. I call him a kid. I hate to do that, but someone called me an old fart on Twitter just a couple of days ago, and that was the first time anyone's ever called me that, so I feel like I can start dropping the kid. 25. Yeah, I am 11 years older than him. Well, here's Olivier weighing in. My friend On Point MMA tweeted about what Alex Hernandez had to say, saying that Alex Hernandez says Olivier Aubin-Mercier was terrified to fight him, says he had him defeated before the fight even started. Olivier responds, meh. I was more surprised that he was that bad at striking and that good at cardio, to be honest. I didn't see that one. Wow. That was incredible. I feel like in another life, Alex Hernandez could be some kind of drill sergeant. I mean, like, when that man speaks, I just want to do whatever he says, whenever he says it, exactly when he says it. The UFC has something special with him. And yeah, he does have a baby face. He's a young guy. He's 25. He doesn't wear expensive clothes or have fancy jewelry, things like that. But what a debut, getting that fight on, 10 days notice or so, defeating Beneil Dariush, knocking him out, and then coming back with the win over Olivier Aubin-Mercier. And now here he is. Wow. So impressed. I was impressed the first time we spoke. I'm even more impressed with Alex Hernandez. That was incredible stuff, and what a story there about that letter. I want to see that letter when he gets it. All right, let's move along now. Say hello to our next guest. Always a pleasure to talk to Paige VanZant. You'll recall a couple of weeks ago on the program, we spoke to her fiancé, Austin Vanderfort, after his big win on the Contender Series. But it has been a while since we talked to PVZ. Let's talk to her right now. She joins us via the magic of Skype. There she is. Paige,
hey,
how are you? Are you doing well?
Good. I'm doing good too.
Okay, good. I didn't know if you can hear me there. So it has been a while. Obviously, we keep up with your comings and goings. I see a little bit of your arm over there, so let's not beat around the bush. Wow, look at that thing. How is the arm feeling?
It feels okay. I'm hoping this surgery went a lot better than the last one, so it's recovering. Right now, I'm just trying to take it really easy. I have my checkup at the end of the month, and that'll determine a lot as to whether this one healed or not.
Okay, so you broke your arm against Jessica Rose Clark in January, correct?
Yes.
What happened there, and then what went wrong with the first surgery?
So the first surgery, they don't really know exactly what went wrong. They went in, they put a plate in, and they put a bunch of screws in, and then 6 months went by, and my arm never healed. So I had a broken arm for the last 6 months.
Oh my.
So they're basically what's called a non-union. Then they had to go in, take the old plate out, put a new one in. It's much bigger. So if you've seen the pictures, it runs from my elbow to my wrist. And then they took a bone graft from my hip and filled the crack. And then put a bunch of pressure on it. So hoping that this one actually heals. So I don't have a broken arm for my whole life.
Yeah. And for those 6 months, was it in a lot of pain because it just wasn't healing?
It definitely hurt. I wouldn't say it was a lot of pain. It hurt. I mean, my arm was broken for 6 months. So different movements hurt it. I was still able to use it pretty minimally. But for the last 6-7 months, I've only had one hand. So I'm getting really good at my left hand, though, which is a benefit.
That is a benefit, especially in basketball. Do you play basketball a lot?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. So it doesn't help. And will you have the scar? What will it look like? Because that thing is gigantic. Not to harp on it, but it's a very long scar. It's a very long incision.
It's huge, but luckily the doctor was amazing, and he really sutured it up really well. So I don't think the scar is going to be anything crazy. I have a scar on my hip too, which I didn't realize that when they take a bone graft, I have this long of a scar on my hip.
Wow.
So that's kind of something else, but I guess it's all a part of the fight game, and I earned that scar.
Yeah. What was it like actually fighting? So how many minutes do you think you actually fought with a broken arm against Jessica?
I I don't even know. I think the instant when I really was in the most pain, I guess, is that I felt it break when I threw the punch. I knew I broke it. But when she was trying to armbar me and she had me in a triangle, trying to fight out of an armbar and triangle, and she was armbarring my already broken arm.
Oh, my.
So playing that mind game of should I tap, like knowing how much pain I was in, not knowing if it was going to get worse or anything like that, but also being really stubborn and not wanting to give up. That's when I was like, all right, this hurts.
Have you ever felt anything like that before in a fight?
No, never. I've never been hurt that significantly in a fight. So it was definitely the biggest injury that I've sustained while inside of a fight.
Afterwards, are you thinking to yourself, why the hell am I doing this? I could do so much more with my life. This is just not worth it.
No, I didn't. After the fight, I was just mad. I was embarrassed. You know, I felt like even without the broken arm, I put on an awful performance, which really was frustrating for me because I felt like everything went right going into the fight, and that normally doesn't happen for me. So I was just embarrassed more than anything, and I was embarrassed my arm broke, embarrassed I was the reason it broke, and then embarrassed by my performance. But I definitely, the road to recovery has been really long, but I know I'll be back in there, and I know the plan still is, me and my manager's already talking to opponents to fight somebody at the end of the year.
Oh, wow. So you think you could come back by the end of the year?
I really do. I mean, I've been trying to stay in shape. I've been working out as much as I can whenever I can and really listening to the doctors. But if it all goes right, if I get good news at the end of this month, then for sure I'm fighting at the end of this year.
So when do you think you'll be cleared? Like, if all goes well, you get the good news, when do they think that you could fight? Like December or so?
Yeah, I'm thinking December. So this end of the month, it'll be 8 weeks since surgery. So that means I would have had a cast on, another cast for 8 weeks. So if everything goes right, it's supposed to be totally healed by then. And then it's getting right back into a fight camp. Of course, I'll have to do physical therapy for a little while, but I think I'll for sure be clear for the end of the year.
And who are these opponents that we're talking about?
We haven't thrown too many names around there yet because a lot changes within the division in this amount of time. People have fights, people get hurt. So really just looking at the entire 125 division, the whole roster, and just see who's available, and that's the fight we'll take.
Who do we have our eye on? Anyone in particular? You could tell us. It's okay. No one's watching.
I know. No, I don't have anyone in particular. Of course, I would love to get the rematch with Jessica Rose. Sometime in my career, I definitely want that one back. It's really bitter to taste defeat, and I would love to show, what I have. And then, of course, anyone in the 125 division that's available, I would love to fight. I feel like the division is still wide open, and I know plenty of people will want to fight me, so I think we're not going to have any issues getting an opponent.
Yes. You still feel like you have a target on your back?
I feel like it's a smart thing to do. Call out somebody. If you're trying to make a name for yourself, you call out somebody who's, I think I'm a veteran now, I would say. But I definitely don't get mad at anybody for calling me out. I think it's a part of the fight game, and that's how you get fights in this world.
Obviously, the fact that you had to have surgery a second time, probably frustrating. The fact that you're sitting on that loss from January, it's now August. Does that make it worse that you're not coming off a win? Like, you break your arm in a win, okay, you're on a roll, but now you want to probably get right back in there and right the wrong, right?
Oh gosh, it makes it so much worse. And after the first surgery, having it not work, and then that defeated feeling, to have the doctor tell me like, hey, you're going back in and having another surgery, which one, I hate having surgery as it is. I think it's terrible. And then two, it was like I'm starting all the way over from step one. I already went through the whole healing process with the cast the first time, and it didn't work, and not knowing if this one's going to work, I guess, was really defeating. So there was definitely moments in there where I thought I would never fight again. And it was like a few months ago where I was talking to my fiance, and he just, gotten a fight lined up, and I just was like, I'm probably never going to fight again. And I think this is it for me, so you better take over. But no, he definitely told me, like, just shut my face hole, and I'm going to fight again. We just have to get in there and, get this one to heal.
I'm not trying to cause a rift here between you and your fiance, who's a phenomenal guy, and I really enjoyed meeting him for the first time. But is there any part of you deep down that's like, man, he's fighting, he's on Contender Series, I'm sitting out? Is there any jealousy there?
There definitely is. And I mean, I've told him that before. It is hard, and he sees the frustration that I have. I get to see him go to practice every single day. I have to sit out and I watch people train, and I get to watch it. There's a ton of jealousy, and in this sport it still is, a selfish game. I want to be the one fighting. I want to be the one in the cage getting fights, and I want the spotlight on me. But at the same time, I'm so proud of him and so happy for the way his career is going. And I'm going to continue to support him. But I definitely haven't forgotten about myself. And I know that I put myself first in this sport. So when the time comes and when I get cleared to fight, it'll definitely be 100% back into a fight camp for myself. And that's the great thing of having, your significant other in the career and in the field that you're in. Him continuing to drive and be successful, that jealousy fuels my fire more than anything, because I see how talented he is, and I want to continue to get in there, and we do work together, and we make each other stronger.
Wow, I really appreciate your honesty there, because I don't know if a lot of people, especially even before marriage, would admit that that is a real thing. So I appreciate that very much. Are you as shocked as I am that he didn't get signed to the UFC?
Oh, I was shocked. I mean, I totally shocked. I thought his performance was amazing. Of course, there was things he needs to work on, and that first round was a little bit scary for me, but I was shocked, and especially the way that I've seen some other people get signed off the Contender Series. But I do know the fight game is about, I guess, more than your performance. But I don't know. I don't know the reasons, and maybe they need him to get a little bit more cage time experience. Being a national champion wrestler, he already has, experience being in, a combative situation since he was like 4 years old all the way through his wrestling career. So we'll see, but we already have another fight lined up for him. So we're just going to get that one taken care of, and then the UFC will call when they're ready.
Oh, what do we got? Could you tell us?
I don't think so.
Oh, no one's watching.
But he will. So far, our manager said that he did get clear. He's fighting the week before our wedding, and then they're just waiting for an opponent to say yes. So if anybody out there wants to fight Austin here in like 5 weeks, let us know, because we're looking for somebody.
Which organization?
I wish I could. I would tell you if I knew, but I really forgot.
Okay, fair enough. How do you feel about him fighting a week before your wedding?
Oh, I don't care. I mean, I have everything totally taken care of. Okay. So it's just, might as well get in there, and then afterwards we can really relax, and he doesn't have to go into the wedding. Nobody wants to cut weight during their wedding or have to fight immediately afterwards. So I think that it works best for both of us.
Now, will you have the cast on for your wedding?
No, I get this. Well, okay, I don't know that, but I will. If I have to have a cast, I'm taking it off for the wedding.
Yeah,
for sure.
It would be pretty incredible. It would be pretty incredible if you came down in a wedding dress and everything like that, and everyone's watching. You look like this beautiful bride, and you have a blue cast on. That would be kind of
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, as cool as that could be for some pictures, I'm definitely not doing that.
Okay.
So I'm really hoping for good news at the end of the month, and I get to take this off. That is the plan.
And it's in September, right? You're getting married?
Yeah, September 29th.
Wow. And how are the preparations? Is it stressful? Are you enjoying it?
Oh, we're totally enjoying it. We're having it really, really, really small, and it's pretty much just going to be family and close friends, and we're doing it here in Oregon. So it's been super easy, and I have so much help between his family and mine, and my really good friends, that it's been really easy. So the whole wedding stress thing, I haven't felt it yet. So
and are you a bridezilla? Can you admit that, or are you kind of easygoing?
I'm really easygoing.
Okay.
So, and I definitely things fall through, and I'm like, yeah, we'll just do something else. So I have no total set. I wasn't one of those girls that was like, this is what my wedding's going to be like. This is what I need. So I'm super easygoing.
I don't know if you heard our conversation a couple weeks ago, but I feel like the smartest thing that Austin could do is push himself as Mr. VanZant. Yes, do you agree with that?
I totally agree. I think it's hilarious.
Okay.
And I think he should definitely play into it.
Because everyone's jealous of him. Shove it down people's throats. No one wants to admit that they're jealous, but they're all jealous. Post the pictures, come out, call himself Mr. VanZant. It's the perfect play, and that's why I thought that it was, on top of what he showed in the fight, that's why I thought it was so silly to not sign him to the UFC. It makes too much sense. They should have done it yesterday. I don't get it.
I totally agree. And that's why, I think play into it and the whole thing. And especially, where it comes from, that it's just, I think it works so well.
Do you guys play it up as well? Like, do you concoct things on social media and say, oh, this is really going to piss people off?
No, I definitely try to help him. I think that any, media is good media.
Yeah.
In a sense, you definitely don't want to you want to be true to yourself, but he always he plays that game of, should I post this, should I not? And I'm always like, do it. So, and then, yeah, he definitely gets a lot of heat for a lot of things, but it's attention.
Is there any part of you that thinks he didn't get signed because of you?
Oh, 100%. I think that him dating me definitely got him, it got him a lot more followers. It may have gotten him to the Contender Series, but then I also think that, I think that I'm probably the reason he didn't get signed. Anybody else with that performance should have gotten a contract. So I 100% blame myself, and I'm not sure the exact reasons, but I'm going to do whatever it takes to get him to the UFC, strictly because I know he deserves to be there, and I know his talent.
Well, why do you think that is? Do you have any theory? I feel like you paused there for a second. You're choosing your words wisely here. Why do you think that is?
There could be various reasons, but I think just, I think that a lot of people would agree that anybody else with that performance would have made it in. And but I also think that maybe it's good for him. There's definitely no doubters that he shouldn't be in the UFC. I haven't heard anybody saying that after that fight he doesn't deserve it. It was a great performance against a high level, opponent from Team Alpha Male, and they're an amazing gym. So it's, we'll see. But I do think his time's coming.
Did it feel a little extra sweeter for you, the fact that he beat an alpha male guy, and a guy who was a protege of Uriah's?
No, because there's actually, for me, there's no hard feelings. I know there was the whole drama and the whole Mr. VanZant making fun of him, but for me, there really isn't any, hard feelings. I feel like I'm in a better place now. Once you outgrow a certain situation, and it's time for you to move on, and I feel like that's what I did, and not a lot of people from Team Alpha will totally understand my reasons for leaving, but I'm in a better place now, and yeah, for me, no hard feelings.
Ultimately, what was the reason for leaving?
It was time. It was time for me. I felt like I overstayed my welcome, or I wasn't in a position. I had lost my passion, my drive, and all those things that make you a successful fighter. And it was just time for me to find somewhere else. And the great thing is, here in Oregon, I have my entire family here, and I just am so much happier here. And
also, you don't move back to Oregon, you don't meet your fiance, right?
Exactly. If I hadn't have moved, then I would have never met Austin.
That's right.
So everything worked out well.
I mean, that's the only real excuse. It was, the stars aligning for you guys.
It was fate.
Fighting at 125, I remember talking to you last year about what it did to your body, fighting at 115, and how much you suffered. Was this so much more enjoyable?
Oh my gosh, fighting at 125 was so much better. And even though I think my performance did not show how good I felt, I felt so much better going into the fight. I felt more athletic. I feel my best self at 125. And, I walk a lot heavier than that still. So me cutting to 115, I was depleting myself and draining myself and having to, kill myself to try to make weight. And it just wasn't healthy anymore. So I feel awesome at 125.
I'll never forget, I saw your tweet about Uriah Hall. You witnessed what happened to Uriah Hall, right?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
What happened? Could you tell us? Can you tell us what you saw?
Yeah, we were on our way to weigh-ins, and I had just got done cutting, the little amount of weight I had to cut that morning. And so I put all my stuff on. I'm walking out to get on the elevator to go downstairs and weigh in. And all of a sudden, Uriah Hall, passes out in the hallway and starts having a seizure. And, oh my gosh, it was just the craziest thing, because he was totally out, and then having him laying in front of the elevators, and I just felt awful, because I knew exactly he genuinely almost killed himself trying to make weight. Wow. So I felt so bad that there's all this negativity around him missing weight and this and that, but people didn't see he genuinely almost died trying to make weight, and it was so scary, and that really put it in perspective for me that moving up 25 was absolutely the right decision for me, and it really solidified it.
Was it ever that bad for you?
It was bad. I think before I fought Michelle Watterson, my best friend, I had nobody to help me cut weight. I was totally alone, and I'm cutting weight in my bathroom, and my best friend walks in to try to bring me a towel, and all of a sudden I just pass out on the floor. So then she has to call people and figure out she knew if she called an ambulance or anything that I would have been I would have hated her, because that means the fight's off. So she knew not to do that, but she was doing everything she could to make sure I was okay. And then somehow I pulled myself together and walked downstairs and got on the scale.
Wow, that is crazy. So thankfully they now have the 125 division, and that's a lot healthier and safer for fighters like yourself. I'm assuming you'll be watching the title fight next month. Who do you think wins, Valentina or Nico?
Yes, I'll be watching. I honestly have I watched all of Valentina's fights, but I have not seen all of the champs fights. So I don't know if I've ever seen her fight. So I don't really watch a lot of The Ultimate Fighter this season. So I'm excited. I'm going into it with not really knowing a lot, but I know how talented Valentina is. So I think that no matter who you put in front of her, it's going to be a tough fight. So I'm excited to see this.
I was going to ask you if you think that everyone who's saying that it's a mismatch and the odds are certainly in Valentina's favor are accurate, but you don't know anything about Nico, so you can't really weigh in on that.
Yeah, I can't really weigh in. I haven't seen enough fights to really have like a proper opinion.
Okay, fair enough. So things are looking up. We've got our appointment coming up later this month. We've got our wedding coming up in September. Your fiance has a fight, and you're hoping to return to the end of the year. I feel like the back end of 2018 a lot better than the first half.
Oh gosh, I hope so. I'm just so sick and tired of being hurt, and I am going absolutely crazy. So yeah, we're hoping for a really awesome end of 2018.
And you also have always like a million things going on. Your book, Dancing with the Stars. You're on cooking shows. Any other extracurricular activities that you're doing while you can't fight right now?
Right now, I mean, I'm doing as much as I can. I have little things here and there, but nothing super awesome. Pretty much just trying to heal.
Okay. By the way, that was terrifying that you posted on Instagram, like your arm was bleeding on the pillow. That was insane.
Yeah.
After your surgery?
Yeah. So my arm, I guess there was just a lot of drainage because it was like a massive surgery. They went in there and put this huge plate in my arm. So I woke up from surgery and just there was blood everywhere.
Jeez.
So, but it was fine. Nothing wrong.
That's normal.
Totally normal, I guess.
All right. Paige, great to catch up with you again. I really appreciate you coming on. I wish you the very best in your recovery with the wedding. Still waiting for my save the date or my card. I don't know how you guys are doing it, but I'll keep waiting for that. And, of course, good luck to Austin. There's a lot of exciting things going on. So thank you again for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you soon. Congratulations, Mazel Tov, on the upcoming wedding.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. There she is, Paige VanZant. Great to talk to her. It has been a while. And like I said, I think things are looking up. We have not seen her in quite some time. Of course, last time we saw her was in January against Jessica Rose Clark. You see the cast, 2 surgeries, but a lot of exciting things have happened. She trains with our friend Chael Sonnen. How good is that? You got to love it. All right. 1 second. In a matter of moments, we'll talk to Corey Anderson, but it was great to catch up with Paige. Haven't talked to her in, I think, over a year. And I really do believe that not signing Austin Vanderfort was a huge mistake, and I can't even imagine why Bellator, PFL, one of these organizations, why would you not re-sign the guy or sign him? Why would you not pick him up? You've got the perfect angle there. He's Mr. VanZant. She's sitting in the front row. She's supporting him. This is all great stuff. People want him to lose. People are jealous. This is a perfect angle, as the kids in wrestling say. And yes, I am still waiting for my save the date. I haven't received it yet, but I'm still hopeful. She said September 29th. I'm free that day. I won't go to Bellator. I don't need to see Rory fight Gegard Mousasi. I want to be at the wedding. The VanZants. Who wouldn't want to be there? Beautiful Oregon. Truth be told, I've never been to Oregon. So I'm holding out hope.